Hi friends, this is Sarah from Crafting and Relaxing, and today I'd like to show you 3 different die cut machines so that we can compare the features, and I'll tell you pros and cons of each and probably which one is my favorite. Okay, the first one that I have here is the Big Shot Plus. It is $125 at least, probably on Amazon. The next one is the Sizzix Big Shot. I got mine at Tuesday morning for I think $49.99. It's in a haul video and you can pull the number. There are still some floating around. The next one is the Holtz Sidekick. This one is $24.99. You can pick it up at Tuesday morning and I have a haul video with the number. Very similar outcomes. They all die cut. First, let's start with the Big Shot Plus. It works with a full-size piece of cardstock. You don't have to trim it down at all. These plates are very damaged. Don't let that distract you. You just put your paper in. I'm going to use this large die. I think this is the largest die I have right now. So I'm just going to put this on here. And if I didn't want to waste paper and I was making a bunch of these, I would always put it at the edge. Then I'm going to put another mat over it. And I've put the handle on the left just so I can get these closer together. And then I'm going to, oops, my sandwich is in there too far. My big mats, and you can see, this is a big machine. And then you have to crank it, get it loaded up, and it's especially bad because the mats are so warped. And if you have arthritis or back or shoulder or elbow problems, this is probably not the machine for you. Don't mind the horrible sounds in die cutting. That's just part of it. Then you take your sandwich out and you flip it open. And with this die, you have the negative and the positive images. So you have nice stars that I'm just popping out. Then I'm going to grab a needle. There are all sorts of tools for this, but I just use a really big needle. It's the same one I use for stitching my signatures together and journal making, so it's handy. And then you pull the die off. So you have a bunch of stars. These 2 pieces are just trash. And then this nice border right here. Okay? Quick and easy, and I'm ready to go again. Now, that one takes quite a bit of muscle. Does run full size 8.5 by 11, not 12 by 12. Then this one, I actually have one little piece I need to pop out of this die. This one is the Big Shot. So same idea, just smaller plates. It does a 6 by 6 piece of paper perfectly. So you can just pull it out of your 6 by 6 pad, put the same big die down on it, make your sandwich and run it through. You don't have to trim your 6 by 6s, but anything bigger you would have to trim your paper. Line it up. Same exact concept. Doesn't take quite as much muscle and jiggling, but still, I mean, you have to hold the machine down and crank it through. There are electric versions of these machines. They're very loud. We're clearly still working out the kinks on them. So same exact idea. We have beautiful stars. I have not ever noticed a difference in quality between these 2 machines, probably because they're made by the same company, right? That plays a role in it for sure. The die pops out. I don't use super detailed, like doily dies. That might make a difference between these 2 machines. There we go. This one's for you pink lovers. Same idea. Both of them done, one fell swoop. Then we come to the little guy. So this one has advantages and disadvantages. Portability, beach weekends, girls' weekends. The other thing I like about this one, it has this little suction cup thing right here. So you flip this and hook it down. So I have actually put this on a plastic tray, like the lid to a plastic tub, and sat in bed at night, put the suction cup down, and done die cutting in bed. It does not do, obviously, a 6 by 6. This is the biggest die that you can do. So this one's completely out of the question. And my big pink star that I used on my patriotic cards, not going to work in this one. It will do, it comes with a few cute, it comes with this tag die, and it comes with these numbers in the package for $24.99. And then everything, all three of these machines will also do embossing folders. So this one is for embossing folders. So what I do is I just take this piece of paper, any piece of paper. It's best to use scraps. I just had this handy for the video. And trim it down. And then when you run it through, you can just do one, or you could load up this little tiny pad, and the same goes for any of these. You don't have to just do one die. Especially if you're using the same brand, the dies will work okay. If you're mixing brands, which I am possibly doing right here, you won't get as good of a cut on some of them because the machine knows, hey, those are different brands and they're, you know, some tiny bit of a millimeter different. Anytime you load this many dies onto your pad, it's going to be a little bit harder, oops, let me move this back, to run it through the machine because I've made it so thick. Here we go. Might need to jiggle that one. Just, it's harder to get it started. And that's true for any of the machines. Had I filled the thing all the way, then you just crank it through. This one you don't have to hold it with two hands because it has the suction cup. So if two hands is an issue for you, there you go. I didn't tape my dies down, so that last one slid off a little. I'll show you. See, it only cut half the flower. I don't typically tape my dies, but you can see it cuts beautiful flowers. Honestly, I love this little guy. I almost didn't buy it, $25. I already had the Big Shot. I didn't need it, but I love it. I also love the fact if you take one small piece of paper and you put it on here and load this thing up, it is so easy to run it through. It is just like a featherweight. You put this in, it goes halfway, and then you just whoop. You could probably do it with just 2 fingers if you need to. And then it cuts it out beautifully, just the same. So it's just much easier to work with. It takes up less space on your counter. Of course, great for filming videos. If I was making a recommendation to you, which, you know, I try and avoid doing, but just so you know, as a card maker, you definitely do not need the Big Shot Plus. That is way too much money, and the Sizzix, the Big Shot, can cut any die that would fit on a card anyway. So this machine is overkill. My neighbor Noni bought it, and we have found that we both like our Big Shots. We keep this out in the shop, and we don't use it much at all. We also both got the Sidekick, except for this die, and these cute stitched ovals that Creative Gigi sent me. All of my dies work in this little one. So when I'm doing these, I need to use my big one. I typically don't cut a whole 6x6 sheet of dies at once just because I only have so many flower petals, so I run them through. If you have 1,000,000 dies, Gigi, then the bigger one might be a better option for you because you can fill your whole sheet of paper and run it through. So the Big Shot Plus, way too much. These, I love both of these. If you're just starting out and you're trying to keep things simple, stick with small dies and your $24.99 machine and you'll be happy as can be. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.